For me, I'm also a Marine Corps veteran, so a lot of times I use the values and the disciplines, a lot of the camaraderie and the sayings we had in the military are always going in my head. So, it's pick them up and set them down, march from the waist down. As long as I keep marching, I know I'm moving forward. And so those are things that in my everyday life, and my family, I teach it to my kids, that my children know cadence like the back of their hand. Well, I started out with NAMI. I was actually one of their speakers for their Be Vocal series. And I would go around and tell my story, just a way for me, helping me, and then to give hope to other people and actually bring awareness to mental health. And I did a lot of that in the classrooms. I also went to a bunch of the different police stations when they did their trainings and gave my stories there too. The police will be there and asking questions, willing to learn how to go about it. So I think it's really great that mental health awareness is out in the community, and everybody needs to play a part because it happens to all of us. Mental health is a nationwide concept. Whether it's you may have a mental health condition, or someone you know, or someone you know who knows someone you know. So I think the better we're able to have a conversation about it and not keep it hidden under the rug, the easier and the less stigma will be attached to it. To me, even though I have a mental health diagnosis, I am not my diagnosis. I'm so much more than that. In my job, I work as a peer specialist. So in my job, I actually make sure I make that point that having a diagnosis or any other disability doesn't define you. It just means that you have to find your own special way to get things done. But you're still able to do whatever it is that you've always wanted to do. And so I expect my recovery to happen simply because I know that's who I am, and that having a diagnosis does not define me. Instead, it just gives me another option. When I think of hope, I actually, HOPE for me is having options for my own personal events. So I have many different pathways that I can still obtain whatever my dreams, whatever my goals are. I am going to be performing a piece of poetry that I wrote as I was transitioning from trauma therapy. Actually speaks about the recovery process and the re-education of myself that I got from the benefits of having therapy, and the actual title of the poem is The Re-Education of Me.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello. And thank you for coming out tonight. Before I begin, as a Marine, I want to say, Jason, there are no ex-Marines. Once a Marine, you're always a Marine. But on tonight, I would like to have a conversation with everyone in the room. So if you could quiet down and listen to what I have to say, you will have your time in just a little while. The title of this piece is The Re-Education of Me. I have systematically taken on the responsibility of being true to me. I optimistically hold the key. I determine the who, what, when, where, why, and how I want to be seen. I have the ability to engulf myself in a parade of masks or to divulge myself transparently. The point is up to me, and I don't have to consider what anyone else thinks. The responsibility of being true to me came as a necessity. See, I once lived as a prisoner of abusive captivity. Thoughts of self-hate, self-doubt, and suicide kept bombarding my mind. I couldn't figure out why, if there were no charges, was I doing time? And so after being knocked down one too many times, I got up, said enough was enough, and I strategically drew the line. I watched my enemy, and I too learned how to stick and move. And in between my Ikes, is that all you got? I found my own smooth groove. Now, I'm like the drum line. I'm tapping out the pace. I decide if I want to stay, if I just want to tell you to get the hell out my face. And don't trip, because you see the fence I built in my own defense. I told you, this was a necessity. It's a byproduct of the re-education of me. But hold up though, cause see, I used some sense when I built my fence. I had enough sense not to isolate me to the point where penetration was not a possibility. So yes, penetration is a possibility. But the ones who do, they better love me better than me. Damn, is that possible? Can people even get that deep? Don't answer that. That's a hypothetical question. Besides, I'm in the process, the re-education of me. I have systematically taken on the responsibility of being true to me because after all these years, I finally L-O-V-E me. That's that piece.